So this is my very first flight. I'm already in the air, and that's my wife, and I try to attack her with the drone. You'll notice that my transitions in movement are real jerky, and it's because I'm just trying to get used to the controls. Because the drone's flying, whenever you start or stop in a certain direction, it tends to overcompensate because it's trying to do what I'm telling it to do. So you will notice that a lot of my changes in direction are jerky. So you can tell basically I'm just working on my nav skills and getting the hang of each joystick. This is the end of the first clip. Now as I go into the second clip, which is right here, it's getting a little bit late in the day, and one of the things that I have noticed is that when it's darker, or like in this case when I had the camera pointed right into the sun, the quality of the images is not quite as high as you would expect. Now if it's brighter in the middle of the day, mid-afternoon, something like that, and you've got good light outside and you're not flying the drone right into the sun, it does fine. Here this is my second flight, and I'm playing around with pointing the camera. I didn't really do that on my first clip. And then I'm also still learning the navigation controls. I'm flying the drone in beginner mode at this point, so when I fly out and I reach the outer limit of the beginner mode, you'll see the drone stop and stay where it is because it won't let me overfly the limits that I've put in place. Right there is where I hit the limit for the beginner mode, so the drone stopped and said, nope, you're not going any further than that. I tried it again, and so that's kind of a fail-safe when you're learning how to navigate the thing so you don't fly too far away. What I did find during this flight is that the navigation lights on the drone help a good bit. The two lights on the front side of the drone will stay white when you're flying, and so you can always tell what's the front and what's the back of the drone. And once you get used to navigating the drone when it's coming toward you, when your controls are reversed, it's not so bad. So I just kind of flew around the house and got used to that, got used to turning it to take sort of panoramic views, that kind of thing, and got a little more altitude on it. And I also found that with altitude you have to be much more aware of the wind, because the wind will blow this drone around a bit. It's pretty good size, but still it's a drone and it's very light, so wind will definitely affect it. So this is my third flight. really similar things. I'm off of beginner mode at this point, so I've given myself a little more altitude and a little more distance to fly now. And the photo quality, the image quality is not as great as I would expect in this video, but it's because I was flying at dusk, and I think there's really not quite enough light. But you can still tell that you can get pretty good video off of it. Like I say, I think it would be a lot better if the light was brighter and if I had flown earlier in the day. Even though I've got a little bit of a breeze blowing and it's moving the drone around a touch because I'm at a higher altitude, my transitions are getting a little bit smoother. And again, this is just my third flight, but I'm learning how to keep the drone smoother when I'm changing directions and moving it to point in different places. At this point, I was at about 55 meters. So 100 and, off the top of my head, about 160, 170 feet in the air. And then this was a clip from my fourth flight. I was about 100 meters altitude, and just taking some panoramic views. It's a little bit more windy at this altitude, but the drone handled fine. I mean, it controlled fine. I didn't go too far away, but I did find, you'll see that my motions have gotten a little more jerky again. I found it a little harder to navigate the higher I got, just because I think I had a current at that altitude, so it affected it. You can tell from the video. So that's about it. Just if you get one of these, just practice and keep it close on your first few flights, and it gets better as you go. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Check out some of my other videos, and I hope to see you back soon. God bless you.